All right, good morning, one and all. Welcome to the advanced Python programming tutorial. In this tutorial series, I'm going to be teaching you something out of the box. I would be showing you basically how to execute functions using design patterns and meta classes, but also we'll be creating our own macro functions in Python. So what does that mean is basically whatever function we want to run, we'll append it in a stack and then we'll pop it from the stack and run it, but we'll be implementing using the design pattern as well. Don't worry, might sound a little complicated, but we will go right from basic and scratch. So let's get started. So just want to tell you that these kind of contents you won't find it on the internet. So even if you like search a lot, you won't find such good contents. I personally have I had to spend like a lot of time watching PyCon videos and understanding all of the concepts. Then I just started practicing each and every day, and here I am. So first of all, let me define a function. So you must be knowing that the function can be defined using something like this, right? So I'm just defining one function, basically nothing something rocket science, right? Let me just write a method name. All right, that's just a function. Now, if I want to execute this function, how can I do that? Now, just see what all variation I will show you. You'll just be amazed by how powerful a language can be. So, well, let me just see. Okay, method one. But guys, do you know that you can also write something known as this? Let me erase all of that. All right, guys. So I hope you know this or not. So if I try to print, or if I just say call the function, so let's see what happens. I am a function, right? It got printed. So this is a zero function basically, which takes no arguments and does the job. Now I have an idea, guys. Tell me about this. What do you think about this? What if I just print as this one? Let's see what happens. So it prints the address of the function where this function is stored in the memory. That's interesting. Now, if I want to execute this function, can I do something like this also? Can I use something known as execute? And in the string, I can say I want to write a code. I will write the code inside this, and this will execute my code. Let's see. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, I did not know that. All right, let's try this one then. How about I do something like so let's try this. I did not know that one. That also works, right? Okay, that's interesting. Now, what if I want to do something like I have a lot of functions. Let me show you. I'm gonna write one more zero function. All right. So if I want to execute this, you can also do something like this. You can store everything you can store all the function. So let me show you the raw version first. And if I want to print it, let's see what happens. So here you can see both the functions are in the list, right? So basically it's not the function, it's the address of the function. Remember that. Interesting. So what if I do something like this? So will this work? Let's see. So it gives me address of each function. Interesting. How can I execute this function? Well, how about this? Interesting. Function got executed, right? Interesting. So what I did is basically I created a stack, a list of functions, and you can execute them. So it's basically our own macro function. Interesting, Somil. Somil, can you teach me in classes? Well, yes, my boy, let's do that. So state of the art now, object-oriented programming. You want to learn, right? So let's learn. So I'm just gonna define two functions for this. just gonna define two function. All right, I have two classes, right? Simple two class. Let's define our data structure. So this is not for beginner now. This is like something advanced. You have to know everything what I'm saying. So I defined my data structure. Now what I'm gonna do is define my another class, which will be a macro. So what I'm gonna do is basically create an instance of an object inside the class. All right, let's create a stack inside that. All right, let's create a macro function. So basically the job of macro is basically create macro would be just appending the value to the stack, remember, and then we'll execute that. So self.stack.data.append, and what we want to append is basically the address where the function is stored. So I'm going to say self.method a, remember. Similarly, self.stack.data.append and self.b.method b. Now let's define a method known as execute macro. So if you want to be pro in Python, you have to know all of these. You can be really good, right? So what we need to do is, first of all, we need to create a macro. So I'm going to call self.create macro. Now for x, so basically what I want to do is basically, so for x in self, I want to iterate over that stack. So stack.data. So if I do print x, it'll print all the address, right? Just wanna prove my point. This is again, this is not a good programming for me because I haven't used meta class in this. Because if I had to program, I would use meta class, I would use descriptors. But yeah, for this video, let's not do that. Again, I have not used facade design pattern and singleton design pattern. I could include that, but again, that will be too much for this video. You guys would hate me after that. All right, so self.execute macro. If everything works correctly, lovely. So here you can see function a. Wait. Something is little bit off here. So I call, let me just fix that. All right, I call the stack. I create a stack object, self.stack.data. I'm appending that. I don't want to call it. I want to get the address. I don't want to run it. So now you can see I have the address. Beautiful, right? Now let me run this. So I can call the undercall method. Look at the magic, guys. Look at the magic. Here you can see all the functions. So this is a macro. Amazing, right? So are you excited to learn more about this? Let me know if you really enjoy this, so I am motivated to create more and more content such like this. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next video. And if you have any more questions, please let them know in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, and see you in the next video.